Selamat selamat pagi dan semangat pagi. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Yang terhormat, Ibu Dr. Soaini binti Sura selaku narasumber pada kegiatan hari ini dari Faculty of Computing and Informatics, University Malaysia Sabah. Yang terhormat, Bapak Dr. Andus Bayu Surarso, MSc PhD, selaku Ketua Program Studi Magister Sistem Informasi Universitas Diponegoro. Yang terhormat, Ibu Dinar Mutiara Kusumo Nugrehani STM Infotechcom PhD, selaku Sekretaris Program Studi Magister Sistem Informasi Universitas Diponegoro. Serta teman-teman yang berbahagia. Puji syukur kita panjatkan kehadirat Tuhan Yang Maha Esa karena telah melimpahkan kita rahmat dan hidayahnya sehingga kita dapat berkumpul dalam kegiatan Undip Global Classroom dalam keadaan sehat walafiat. Perkenalkan, saya di sini Zora Zarina yang akan memandu acara pada UGC hari ini bertugas sebagai moderator. Sebelumnya, saya mengucapkan terima kasih dan selamat datang kepada seluruh peserta yang telah hadir dalam kegiatan hari ini. Semoga kegiatan hari ini dapat memberikan wawasan baru, pengalaman akademik internasional, dan juga inspirasi perjalanan penelitian kita. Baik, sebelum memasuki sesi utama, izinkan saya menyampaikan susunan acara pada pagi hari ini. Yang pertama, pembukaan. Kedua, penyampaian materi oleh narasumber. Ketiga, sesi tanya jawab dan diskusi. Keempat, foto bersama dan penutup. Baik, tanpa mengurangi rasa hormat, marilah kita sama-sama membuka kegiatan Undip Global Classroom dengan tema Research in Information System pada pagi hari ini. Semoga seluruh acara dapat berjalan dengan lancar dan memberikan pengalaman akademik yang bermanfaat bagi kita semua. Sebelum beralih ke sesi selanjutnya, izinkan saya menyampaikan beberapa informasi dan ketentuan selama kegiatan berlangsung. Yang pertama, mohon seluruh peserta menonaktifkan mikrofon atau berada dalam mode mute selama pemaparan materi berlangsung. Kedua, peserta dipersilakan menyalakan kamera dengan menggunakan virtual background yang sudah disiapkan. Ketiga, ketika sesi tanya jawab, pertanyaan dapat disampaikan melalui fitur raise hand atau chat di kolom komentar. Bapak, Ibu, dan teman-teman mahasiswa yang saya hormati, kita telah sampai pada sesi utama pada kegiatan Undip Global Classroom hari ini. Sebelum memasuki sesi penyampaian materi, izinkan saya terlebih dahulu menyapa narasumber kita yang telah berkenan hadir dan bergabung bersama kita. Assalamualaikum Ibu. Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi Zora, selamat pagi semua.
Alhamdulillah. Ibu gimana kabarnya?
Oke, alhamdulillah semuanya sehat-sehat saja.
Alhamdulillah, semoga selalu diberikan kesehatan, Bu.
Iya,
Kebetulan ini jilbab kita kembar, Ibu.
iya. Kita kembali lagi lah untuk hari ini, pagi ini.
Iya, Alhamdulillah. Ibu, kami ucapkan terima kasih sebesar-besarnya kepada Ibu karena telah kembali meluangkan waktu untuk hadir berbagi ilmu kembali bersama kita. Tentunya ini menjadi suatu kesempatan yang sangat berharga bagi kami, khususnya dari teman-teman Magister Sistem Informasi Universitas Diponegoro, untuk dapat belajar langsung dari Ibu. Pada pertemuan sebelumnya, kita telah mempelajari dasar-dasar dari research method, di mana mulai dari kita bagaimana menentukan ide atau tema untuk penelitian, terus kita perbedaan antara metodologi dan metode, dan sampai ke tahap-tahapan dalam melakukan penelitian. Nah, materi tersebut tentunya menjadi fondasi bagi kita untuk melakukan proses penelitian secara struktur dan sistematis, khususnya sebagai mahasiswa magister yang sedang melakukan penelitian tesis. Pada pertemuan kali ini kita akan membahas lebih lanjut nih topik-topik yang lebih spesifik, yaitu dalam topik Research in Information System, di mana topik ini menjadi sangat relevan karena penelitian dalam bidang sistem informasi tidak hanya berfokus pada aspek teknologi juga, tetapi bagaimana teknologi berinteraksi dengan manusia, organisasi, dan proses bisnis dalam menghasilkan solusi yang bermanfaat. Melalui sesi hari ini kita dapat memperoleh wawasan lebih lanjut mengenai pendekatan dan karakteristik dalam penelitian khususnya dalam bidang sistem informasi dari narasumber yang berpengalaman langsung dalam bidangnya. Sebelum memasuki sesi penyampaian materi, izinkan saya memperkenalkan narasumber kita pada pagi hari ini, yaitu tadi sudah bersapa dengan Ibu Dr. Suwaini binti Sura. Beliau merupakan senior lecturer dari Faculty of Computing and Informatics Universitas Malaysia Sabah. Beliau menyelesaikan pendidikan doktoralnya dalam bidang sistem informasi di Hayang University, South Korea pada tahun 2017. Bidang kepakaran beliau meliputi elektronik or social commerce, social computing, teknologi adoption, and data mining. Selain aktif dalam pengajaran, beliau juga mengampu mata kuliah dari research metodologi ini, serta aktif membimbing mahasiswa pada jenjang magister dan doktoral. Dalam bidang penelitian, beliau juga aktif dalam berbagai riset teknologi informasi seperti social media analytics, artificial intelligence, data mining, hingga user behavior analytics. Dengan berbagai publikasi dan conference dari jurnal internasional seperti IEEE dan SCM. Selain itu, beliau juga berpengalaman dalam penelitian supervisi akademik serta publikasi ilmiah yang internasional, sehingga dapat membagikan wawasan mengenai topik kita pada pagi hari ini, topik diskusi kita pada hari ini yaitu Research in Information System. Beliau juga aktif dalam mengembangkan kolaborasi akademik internasional termasuk dengan kerjasama antara Universitas Diponegoro dan Universitas Malaysia Sabah. Suatu kehormatan bagi kami dapat belajar langsung dari beliau pada forum UGC hari ini. Ibu, tanpa mengurangi rasa hormat, kami persilakan Ibu Dr. Suaini binti Sura untuk menyampaikan materi pada acara pada pagi hari ini. Waktu dan tempat kami persilakan.
It's okay ya kalau saya off kamera, we focus on the material, boleh?
Oh, boleh Ibu.
Okay, sebelum saya share material. Previous week, last week kita sudah kongsi bersama tentang research method. But that research method last week also maybe applicable to research in IS, but sedikit modification. Okay, sebelum saya mulakan material, izinkan saya untuk share sedikit tentang IS. Okay. If you look at my PhD in IS, PhD Information System. So basically saya itu compared to the what we call it pure computer science, saya itu adalah bidangnya IS Information System. Tapi untuk hari ini, untuk pagi ini, I won't focus entirely 100% of IS and just focus on the mainly what is mainly, apa yang terutamanya dalam conducting IS punya research lah, IS research. Just focus on mainly. So let me share my material and izinkan saya untuk off kamera ya.
Baik Ibu.
Sebentar ya. Oke, boleh nampak my slide?
Sudah terlihat Ibu.
Okay, now research in information system. So for today, we start our today sharing. I call it the sharing season. Sharing is we start with what we call it what IS. Okay, if you look in front you, this is we call it IS component. Ini adalah 5 komponen IS, then this is component integrated to make what we call it information system. Kalau depan ini kita ada software, hardware, process, people, and data. Okay, we need hardware. Hardware is a tool. And then the hardware, we need software to run that hardware. But hardware and software saja tidak cukup, it's not enough. So we need data. Okay, we need data. So this data will be processing the software that will processing the data and then will deliver it to the people, baru disampaikan kepada people. When we look at people, usually kalau we talk about IS, is not the individual people, the use of only for individual people, use of the collective of people. That's why sometimes we call it more antara business entity, organization, social community entity. Jadi, when you look at the right side, saya itu ada tulisnya situ, the raw data. That raw data just now, you process that raw data to new knowledge. We call it action insight. New knowledge mean that nanti raw data itu kalau 1, 2, 3 kita tengok tidak ada maknanya, tapi bila kita proses menjadi informasi ada maknanya. Oke, bila menjadi makna, and this data tadi sudah menjadi makna knowledge, usually in term of information tadi akan digunakan oleh organization. So that is basically what is IS, what that mean IS. So we go next, research in IS. When you research in IS, this is in front of you, we have 3 components with information technology, value, and change. So if you involve with this anything, anywhere in this picture, mean you already doing research in IS. So we'll talk information technology, gitu ada mana situ atau digital tool, whatever hardware, software, database, whatever is that you use in processing the data to make it information. Okay, when you process the data become information, this data will become subject to the change. When you kata change, it means transformation. Okay, transformation ya, data-driven decision, digital transformation. You transform that data to something, transform that company to something. That change be enabled and as enabler to be value, is become value. What is the value? When you look in front here, value is consider the benefit obtained from implementing IT and art. So contohnya di situ. Digital tool tadi adalah e-commerce system. E-commerce, we talk about e-commerce system. Dari e-commerce system itu, what is in e-commerce system itu, dia ada softwarenya, ada toolnya, ada networkingnya, ada informasinya, segala-galanya dalam itu e-commerce system. We need if you talk e-commerce system, one of them yang selalu kita guna adalah online buying, contoh. Then it makes to business move from physical to online selling. Okay, what could the change? When you use e-commerce system in the company, the change. Tadi mula-mulanya company itu contohnya tidak ada penjualannya hanya physical, tapi bila implement the e-commerce, dia telah bertukar kepada tadi physical kepada online. That is change. When this change, it translated enable the value, apa value akan dapat? Apa value will be obtained by the company, increase customer engagement and revenue. Because of that, maybe the customer punya engagement, loyal customer lagi bertambah, increase, and the revenue also increase. So, which part is that IS research here? Actually, whatever you touch in the example, consider is IS research. For example, if you want to know what is the success factor for the e-commerce system, that consider IS research. If you want to know how the e-commerce system enable bring the benefit, that is also e-commerce IS system. If you want to develop new e-commerce system, and you want to look the impact to the look the impact. Okay, look the usability of the system to the environment. That also IS research. Okay. Okay. Whatever you touch here is considered IS research. Okay, we go to the next. Now I think this is clear. You understand this one. Okay, now research in IS. Kita itu pada minggu lalu, the previous week, saya itu sudah terangkan what is research. We go back to the what is the definition of the research. If you look in front here, research can be defined as the research knowledge or as any systematic investigation to establish the fact. Establish fact mean here refer to the new knowledge, new knowledge. So when we translate it, research in IS, as we can define it, is systematic study how people, organization, and technology interact, manage, and improve IS. This include how they design, how they use, impact, the design, the use, the impact, or an improvement of IT organization and the social context. Yeah. So maknanya, if the research, you look at your research, you have organization, you have your organization, you have IT. If you have these two component, is considered already IS. Whether you look at the design, you look at the impact, you look at the management, the improvement, whatever is that, is up to your research. So, as summary, you can look here. First, you may use how you technology use. Remember I said tadi ada technology use. Then how it affect individual and organization, mesti ada itu. And how the value they created implements digital and transformation. So these three is considered already IS. Some of IS research ada IS research itu mungkin hanya kepada IT to the organization as change. They want to prove the change of the organization. It's considered also IS, even though they touch about the value, benefit, it's okay. But some of the research maybe covered all these three elements, which is technology, change, and benefit. Okay. Some not directly touch about the changes, just touch about the value as the IT. Consider also IS, research and IS. Okay, next. So previous week, minggu lalu itu saya juga I already give you this slide. Ya, sudah bagi slide-nya, type of research. So my question, if you look here, there's actually more than this, but I just give you 12 example type of research. Kalau tengok depan sini, which you think could be the involved, which type is involved in research in IS research. Okay, let me share from my experience. Okay, satu, pure research, basic research, expanding knowledge without intermediate practical use. Study human behavior theory. Of course, we are IS people always do this one. We study behavior of people, how people interact with the system. Okay, okay, standby. Two, apply research. Yes, this one I always doing this one. The behavior just now. This is maybe my PhD research or during my PhD time. So saya itu waktu PhD itu buatnya 2 research and dua-dua on IS. So mostly saya guna yang satu ini. Katanya satu, apply research, solving real world problem, develop apps to manage flood evacuation. Okay. Yes, partially, yes. Especially when you develop the system, you want to know the benefit of the system to the certain what we call it society. Itu ada. My case, me and my team, we developed what we call it AR and AR. So what could be the impact to solve some of the issue on the tourism? Okay. For example, kalau contoh paling di tourism is like artifact or one to call it architecture, bangunan what we call the building, tourism building, bangunan lama itu. When you look just website, you just look the picture, but you cannot see maybe the architecture and detail. So we use AR with 3D, and then we use it with the repetition 360 aja. So all the community, all the tourism, whatever, they can look at the architecture of the building. That's a simple example. Exploratory research, yes. This one investigate emerging trend social commerce. Yeah, social commerce. This is contohnya. Yeah, I use it. Descriptive analysis kita selalunya kalau IS research we may use a part of descriptive research, but we more on the interactive. We more than that, not just describe. We more than that ya. Okay, then apanya? Survey. But what usually IS use is that the survey research, of course, when you collecting data from respondent. Rasanya itu sekarang ini kalau yang pelajar-pelajar sarjananya, masternya itu, S2-nya itu kebanyakannya guna questionnaire ya untuk dapat data. Betul ya? Betul. Kebanyakan data. So that's more on the survey. And case study, maybe you can use the case study. If you ask me also during my PhD on IS and my master dissertation, I use the survey. The tool is of course the questionnaire. Yeah. So that's that actually some of research. Many type of research can be applied on IS research actually. Okay. Now we move to what way of doing research on IS. Okay. This is some you have here ada the perspective on integrated field by information system. One we call it when you more on the IT, the one part, the IT part just now. Your software, you have a software, you have what like system, application. You look at the organization, you can make, look at the organization, and this is some of the problem. So this problem can solve when you build the application, and then you build the application. Once you build the application, and then you want to know whether this application is suitable, can be used, easy to use, how to implement. That we call it way of use when you want it this in IT, software engineering, and computer science. Okay, way ya. It's a bit different. IT nomor satu itu is bit different on computer science part. Computer science usually, for example, saya itu pun selalu gunanya juga. Saya itu ada guna juga katanya, terutama kalau saya buatnya research on data mining. But the problem, the difference is that in terms of testing. Research and computer science, usually the testing, you may test only the statistical, how you run the data just now, okay, and then you look at the accuracy, the performance, TIF, TIP, all that things. If you look at the mining, my example, okay, but I don't test that system to the environment, to organization. Stuff like that. Okay, when you run it with data, you said, oh, the accuracy tinggi 90%. Okay, that's it. Itu kalau computer science. But here in ComIS, the test will be involve the people, involve the organization. That is the difference. Yeah, we more want to have how when the system we apply it in the real environment. Contohnya, that is the second one is on, we call it the behavioral, cognitive, physical, and science. Focus human behavior in interaction with technology. Okay, I think most of you who are doing the IS research, IT research, focus on this one, right? Number 2, right? Kebanyakan. You use how the user behavior. Paling banyak maybe is about how the user acceptance of the user for this certain IS. Okay, then you the IS. Contohnya, you want to know is it a user satisfied with this system or no, or not, something like that. Okay, how they behave. Is it you want to know the attitude of user toward the system, something like that. The third one is on organizational science management and business. This is when you look in terms of the organization, decision support making, how this system is used for decision support system. Usually, number two is on the individual perspective, and number three is usually on enterprise perspective. Okay, so then you have number four. Number four is that when you make it as a large scale, you you want to look at and for the one nation. You want to build a policy for one nation. Okay, that is already number four. So all this four juga saya pernah terlibatnya. Oke, nomor satu itu ya kalau FYP student saya itu soalnya ada nomor satu. Yang nomor dua itu mencari research saya. Yang ketiga itu bila saya dapat grant, dapatnya grant daripada company-company. Contohnya kami itu, kumpulan saya itu dapatnya dapatnya grant daripada what we call it IDS, I don't know, from LKNS, Lembaga Kebudayaan Negeri Sabah. Okay, so we do research what the impact of the digital to that company. Nomor 4 itu, yes, this one sedang berjalan, ya, yaitu di negeri Sabah itu kitanya mau buat policy on AI. Policy on AI for negeri Sabah. So, last scale. So, 4 itu memang saya pernah terlibat. Jadi, 4 itu masih berjalan. Oke. Oke, ini contohnya. Now, we have this one. That one, we summarize it in the 3 research rule. You are the researcher, which kind of research role, which kind of researcher are you? The one we call it theoretical scientist. That means is most on that you develop theory and then you also your research also based on the theory. How are you going to develop theory? Maybe from your reading. For example, you do the policy, the framework for the government, something like a new framework, new policy, something like that. Yang kedua is experimental scientist. Usually, this empirical evaluation 1, 2, dan 2 itu selalunya integrated. Okay, integrated. You have already theory and then you evaluate the theory. I believe in most research in S2, you have to build your own conceptual theory or conceptual framework. After that, you evaluate yang punya framework tadi. Yeah, this one. And the third one is design application. This is I said kalau tadi when we do it just now, yang nomor 1 tadi. Ya, the nomor 1 tadi. You develop application. Okay, so that is this in Praneo. There's some of description what could be the research rule 1 or 2, 3, and then some of the IS punya research dia. Ya, okay. So next, why research in IS? Okay, main purpose, of course, one, we want to understand the technology, the related problem. Is it technology can solve the problem? Number 2, to explain the user or original behavior. This is we know how we react, people are going to react to that problem, because we believe we must have, even we have the good system in the world, but you don't test it you don't know how people react. This is no use. Who's going to the system? It's people. So we want to know what is punya people perspective, point of view of that system. Okay. Then design and improve information system. Yeah, we have already information system. We stop that. No, we have to design. We want to improve our information system. The evaluate the impact of digital technology. This is I said just now, the benefit. What could be the benefit? And create value for organization and society. Yes. Why? In organization, IS punya output is very important because they create what we call it competitive advantages. Yeah, competitive advantages. That means the value they may have to compete in the industry. Yeah, that one main purpose. Now, you still remember this one? Yeah, Remember this one. This is how you're going to conduct research in IS. Actually, you may use uh, classical method. Classical method. Okay. The most important classical method. You must have your research question just now. Masih ada background observation. You must have familiar to your research. You may do the design experiment. But rather than design experiment nomor 4, we change it to conducting. You punya survey. Do what if you kalau survey, usually survey. You conducting your survey, conducting your research become a survey. Then you collect data, test the hypothesis, you interpret this one. But okay, what the challenge in doing a research in IS? Saya itu paling sakit hati bila orang computer science talk to me, alah IS itu senang, alah itu sih buat survey saja, tidak masuk. Ask them to do, don't do like that. UIS don't do like. If people talk to you like that, ask them, okay, you try, do IS research. You try it, you can do it or not. Suruh dia coba, baru dia tahu. They said it like that because you look at easy, but actually it's not that easy. Easy because what? The most challenge in IS research is actually design your punya tools. Design your tools. The one. Okay, design your tools. Once you design your tools, what is your tools? Kalau AS selalunya kalau yang guna survey, your tools is questionnaire. Okay, design questionnaire senang, but just questionnaire. But the content of questionnaire, the item, the question, you want to identify the variable itself. What is the variable? What could be the variable? What could be the item for that variable? It's not that easy. It's not that easy. It's not just say you pick it like that, you pick it like that, oh, make up. No, like that. But that's not easy. It's not easy. If you ask a computer science student to do that, they will be give up. They will give up because that will take most. If you ask me, most of time when my PhD is that on that testing my instrument before I do it. But once this is one obstacle, satu halangan paling besar. Tapi kalau halangan nomor satu ini sudah beres, orang katanya sudah selesai, the rest become easier. Only that one very difficult. So why is difficult? Why is difficult? Because in research, IS research, okay, this is the conducting ya, okay, okay, this is the same thing ya. Tadi itu okay, delete, okay. Yang ini tadi kita pecahkan jadinya ini, okay. Identify problem, criteria, define your objective, develop your theoretical framework, choose research methodology, you do data analysis one. But I said to you, the part is very difficult part is this one, nomor 4 ini. Nomor 4 ini. So, in IS research, actually, okay, satu-satunya kita punya saat in IS research, actually, okay, this is the most important. Theoretical background. Kalau you guna, if you doing on the empirical analysis, mostly that conducted by S2 student, S2 adalah you must have theoretical background. Collection theory and conceptual knowledge from the previous will be explained support guide your research as a foundation of your research. This is more important. Okay. You don't have theory will be questionable. Okay, will be questionable. So, if you don't have this theory, your research will be questionable. Maybe almost unaccepted as a IS theory. Is a become like descriptive research, descriptive analysis. Just tengok itu, tapi tidak tahu what actually. So, when you talk about theory, I think you're familiar with this one. Yeah. Why theoretical background? Kenapa? Katanya satu, of course, is explain your study. Why theoretical background important is because to explain your study, show the academic foundation of the research. Because oh, I have my foundation. My foundation based on this theory, but it's not necessarily based on this theory. Okay, and then we have what we call it support your argument. So it can support your argument. That's what argument mean that when you have this theory just now or the theory, then you set your punya theory, you establish, and then at the end you can support argument. When people ask you this why you come up with this one, you can say, oh, I come up with this one because of the theory. Based on the theory, this one. So I think in this, you see, you support you. And define variable and concept, clarify important concept in the study. Okay, so what will the concept here, variable or concept here? For example, you want to know the successful factors in IS. So when you look at the factor you study the previous research from the theory, you study any of your context, and then you can indicate all the factors. So when this the factor, you use this factor to build your framework. Okay, show your relation between program. Then after that they can guide your punya hypothesis, always connect to the previous research. This is why theoretical background is very important. Okay. Yeah, depan ini all of you, this is most popular theory ya, the 5 most popular theory yang in IS. I think of you may use this one. I really familiar with 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, and 5. But the one is nomor 4 itu saya itu mungkin akan mencobanya, yang nomor 3 itu saya mungkin akan mencobanya. I'm not that familiar, but I know it before, but I'm not really familiar. Okay. When my first theory, my first theory and first langkah pertama saya, my first step in IS is that technology acceptance model, which is main idea user adopt technology if they perceive is useful, easy to use. You want to know how the perception of the user toward the system, toward the information system. This is my first one. That time my study is on e-learning adoption. That time I not even have my what we call my PhD. This is the first one, technology adoption. And then in master, on my master, okay, for your information, my master is not in research, yeah. My master is I have my master on kelas punya 1,5 tahun on the classes, but we have dissertation. Dissertation mean penulisan, research penulisan untuk satu kursus 6 jam kredit, something like that. So that time I doing my research on 6 months. So I'm doing it on this one juga, acceptance model is on the knowledge management in IPT. How the university perceive the knowledge management. I use that one theory. Okay, that kind of theory. So then after that one, another one, you thought. Okay, this you thought actually is what call it the evolution, something like evolution from the thumb. So that you have more like is the main focus is technology usage influenced by multiple key factors. Key factors dia tu on the performance, expectancy, social influence, facilitating is condition, something like that. Yeah. Okay, I think you're familiar this one. And you have other division of the innovation. Do you thought I use it recently? Actually, you thought recently, 2 years ago, I think 2 years ago, in my research on the with the industry. And then we have number 4. This is number 4, number 5, we start number 5. Number 5 is that the first theory I use when my first step in PhD, S3. So, waktu saya S3-nya itu di Hanyang, sebelum saya itu membuat my PhD research, my supervisor itu katanya, Suhaini sambil dia Hanyang and doing PhD in Hanyang, doing S3 in Hanyang is quite different. First, for 2 years, 1.5 years, I will be as a PhD student. During my PhD student, I go through 36 SKS jam kredit, 36 SKS SKS jam kredit, credit hours, 36 credit hours. I have to pass that one. That is for 1.5. I'm doing that 1.5. During that time, my supervisor itu katanya, no, just attend the class. You do the research. So I do the research. My research, I use this. Is I use that plant behavior. Okay. In Hanyang, during doing my PhD in Hanyang, quite nggak tahu susah ke nggak susah. Cumanya bila dapat 336 jam kredit tadi SKS, sudah ambil kelasnya, lulus semua kelasnya, dia ada satu percabaran utama. They have what we call it ujian. Ujiannya itu one of examination. You have to go through that examination. That examination have 4 question. The 4 question, only 4 question, 2 hours. Most question is on IS. And then what could be the challenge if this 4 question, you must pass all the question. Pass all the question. Pass the question. If you fail one question, next semester you have to repeat that one question. If you fail 2 question, you have to repeat. Repeat 2 questions. So 1 or 2 questions should be okay. But in you repeat, gagal lagi satu, you have to take overall of the question. So if you don't pass that 4 question, you will be repeating until you pass. Okay. Once you pass, then you can be PhD candidate. Baru boleh buatnya research PhD. That is my challenge that during the time. But luckily I passed the exam. But during that time, I used what I call it this theory plan behavior. I made this theory during my PhD time. So I do the research on this on the social donation, something like that, in social media social donation, and then that paper, if I'm not, I did from that research, I write 2 paper. That 2 paper, both paper is on what we call it WOS paper. During my time, that WOS paper. Paper, if I'm not mistaken, is Q1 and Q2, something like that. That paper. If you search the all paper, you can see that paper on the theory. This one. Okay. So in my PhD time, I use the one Dellen and Mellon. Okay, Dellen and Mellon. Dellen in Maclellan, I a success model. Okay, what I did at that time. Okay, this is example, yeah. Example. This is the example. I take this one. I take this one. Identify. This is the this is the I success model. I do this one, I based on this one, I do this one, and plus alternative success model by others, researcher. So from this theory, then I generate my own theory, success factor on SNS-based commerce. So that time, I add another feature, This one I get it from the some of alternative theory from previous, and then because I'm doing SNS for my context, that theory, this one I think is suitable for my context. Okay, my context. Then this is the knowledge gap actually. This is the knowledge gap. Okay, this is the new knowledge. Okay, selalunya orang kata tuh apa gapnya? Apa gap? What is your resist gap? What is it? Okay, this is the gap. This is the gap. Okay, I point this one. This is the gap. So as I said, remember I said to you, yang saya kata mungkin itu pelajar computer science susah, is difficult to survive because this one design. design this one, how many people you have to read, yeah, literature review, how many literature review you have to read, and then okay, now I already have. This is one of my. This is ini kumpulannya variable. The variable is system and quality information, social responsibility, relation to quality, delivery quality, and product option quality. All that one, right? How you come up with one? It's not easy one. And then my uh, it's not the easy one. Saya rasa time masa itunya saya itu tidak suka gunanya PC. Guna PC, guna laptop, nggak nampak. Saya gunanya itu kalau nggak silap dua three size paper ditampal di dinding, dilukis, ditengok begini, tengok lagi begini, tengok balik, baca balik, tengok ke tidak. And then that's the first challenge. And then last challenge I get this one. And then after itu ditunjukin lagi itemnya and collect all the previous research. Tengok item-item itu, item-item ini gini. Tengok lagi semua itemnya. Let's check this one. Two item and then you have your questionnaire. After my developing my questionnaire, yes, I can. Wah, saya itu wah, oke sudah questionnaire. Wah, happy questionnaire-nya tuh sudah happy, sudah dapat. And then kena test. I test. First test. The first test is expert test. Antar kepada 2 atau 3 orang expert. Oke, 3 orang expert profesor. Diantar juga kepada pelajar-pelajar IS untuk ditengok understandability. Dibacanya dipaham, adakah pelajar-pelajar ini paham. Lepas tu dapat komplain lagi daripada expert. Oke, revise lagi. Biasa revise lagi questionnaire-nya, revise lagi item-itemnya. Oke, good. Oke, boleh lah ini boleh. Oh no, the next step, pilot test. Dicari lagi balik pilot testnya. Tadi verification sudah, dicari lagi pilot testnya. On the pilot test, okay, I use sample of 50 sampel, 50 sampel pilot test. Is a customer, is a SN-based commerce is based on customer SN yang pernah guna SN-based commerce itu. Oke, ambil 50 di dalam 50 sampel. Sampel, go back to my station, my lab station, I run data, run data, tengok. That one we want to know whether what we place just now, tadinya itu kan setiap variable itu ada itemnya, whether we place it the right item, that item is the right variable. Dikumpulin di what we call it ini kelompoknya betul nggak betul. Run it. Run. Oh my God. Wah, tidak seindah yang disangka. Tidak seindah disangka. Tengok lagi reliability-nya. Oke. Reliability-nya terlampau tinggi. Nia Tuhan. Oh, it's not good one. Ditengok lagi, wah kurang. Dibaiki lagi. Oh, this one, 2 faktor ini sepatutnya ke sana. Tapi kenapa saya, kebetulannya di sini, kenapa saya setnya ke sana? You run it again. Restructure again. One you restructure based on a pilot, and then you get, okay, this is the best one. Then baru you distribute your punya questionnaire to the questionnaire to the what we call it to the respondent to get the data. Okay, in getting the data, this is my supervisor. This is my supervisor told me. So I need your respondent. If you have 100 above, should be okay. If you have 500, no need to go like 500 or 600, whatever. 100 to 200, 100 to 300 should be okay. Because one in statistic, in statistic, if your respondent 100 to 100, it should be okay. But more than that, this is not significant. This is not really significant changes. There's no significant result actually. If you have also the biggest respondent sample, no. So that time I might get something 200 something only. Dia kata boleh, that one. Then my friend in the statistical field said, statistical quite valid if you have 30 sampel. That's why in 30 sampel, 30 sampel ya, 30 sampel respondent. That's why in doing our punya pilot test, usually we use 30 hingga 50 respondent. Sebab 30 itu the minimum to make your statistically valid. Okay, that one. So, if you ask my challenge is that designing my tools, tadi questionnaire, all that one, my tools, my instrument, designing my instrument. After that, and then you go to all, you get this one, then you data analyze, then you analyze the data. So this is the result. Usually when we analyze the result, we go to the what we have the what is accepted and rejected from the what we call it the rejected. So how you're going to do that? Or statistically you do it? It's up to you actually. Look what you're not what kind of the what kind of research that you're doing. Some of you maybe use the cosmetic pack. Sekarang ini yang popular PLS, SEM. During my time, I use SPS on regression analysis and as well as the SEM. I use that too. So from that one, I managed to publish 3 paper. SN-based commerce too, I managed to publish a 3 paper for the publication. Yeah, 3 paper. So that's that my journey. And another theory, remember just now, just now it's based on theory, IS theory. Just now I tell you all of the theory. The other way, remember, one we call it the one, nombor satu tadi, ingat nombor satu, so IT research in IT, using IT in IS, which is you have more on the development, application system development in IS research. So that one usually we call it multi-methodological. That means approach. We use only not one approach, maybe you have certain approach, because while we combine, first one is the developed system, one approach, first approach, the IT approach, developed system, and the second one you combine with IS research, which is survey. So we call it multi-media methodological. Two approach you combine is two approach. Okay, so on. This one, this is the sum of that one. You have theory building, whatever is that. Okay, you theory building, usually you kind of use a requirement, you do prototyping, and then you do whether you do experiment or whether you do observation. Okay. Remember that just now we have the theory. That is I use that one, my example just now, I use the survey to collect data, questionnaire, but I also have the experience whereby from the theory, I use experimental. Is it on my study of social commerce also, but use that one, I use eye tracking system. Okay, eye tracking system. That means I use the data from the eye tracking system, the data from the eye tracking system to know the relationship between the purchase behavior, for the purchase behavior. Okay, that one. So this is, look here, if you have this kind of theory here in front of you. So this is my example. This is my example. This example, we have the two. We have two paper here. This is what we have did. Is that what we do in this one? Our research with industry just now, Lembaga Kebudayaan Negeri Sabah, is cultural. First, we get the requirement, and then we develop our BR360 on the traditional dance, Sabah dance. There's so many in the Sabah. There's so many cultural. There's so many suku kaum, panggilnya suku kaum, terlalu banyak. The traditional dance is so many. So we do that one. Once we develop, first we do the what we call it unit test, the technology part. We look at the functionality there, the video, how the video is good on video, something like that. We look at also in terms of the what we call it portability. Is it can be used? can be used in can be used in laptop, can be used in the mobile. So how about the what we call iOS? The OS can use iOS, can use Android, something like that. After that, then after that, then we test it in the real life component, real life environment, whereby that time during that time we involved with what we call exhibition, pameran begitu, expo begitu, exponya begitu, expo kebudayaan. We put that our video, something like that. We use the tool, the mobile, Google Mobile, as well. We use the Pico, our Pico. You use that one. So we ask that one is visitor, what visitor for the expo. Use our application just now. Use our VR just now. When they use it, after they use it, then we said, can this is some questionnaire. Can you fill up this some simple questionnaire? This is the link. Can you fill up the simple questionnaire? We just look at the usability. The simple in IS is usability testing. Use SUS. Use that one. They click that one. After that, we analyze and then we publish this paper. Other than SUS, there's someone, the other one is the sebelah kanan itu, that one AR. The one jadi kita buat ya VR, sebelahnya AR. The same concept we do, the same concept. This one is more on the promoting Hari Kebangsaan, something like that. The National Day, something like that. But this one, we use the user experiment tools, questionnaire tools. Okay, that one. So that actually one IS. Okay. So actually that is put to there. So as a conclusion just now, I already touched to you in IS research. I start with introducing to you what is research in IS, and then I touch also how to conduct IS research. To conduct research, and I said to you the main important is that theoretical part in designing your what we call it designing your instrument. Okay, design instrument, and then I explain to you the two main way to conduct the research. One is based on the theory, the other one is based on the what we call it technology, IT tech, information technology, the tools, yeah, the tool, develop a system. Okay, so I think how maybe some of you ask me, how about the sampling? Okay, the sampling, sampling, how you choose your sampling, something like the IS. That one actually, that one itu saya rasa boleh dibaca, guna aja mana yang sesuai dengan kamu. Tapi paling pentingnya itu dalam chapter 3, you have to explain what sampling that you choose and why that sampling. In my case, I use purposely random snowball technique. During my PhD, I use the snowball technique. Okay, snowball technique punya sampling. But after that, I must use the purposive convenience sampling. Okay, it's up to you what sampling you, but you explain it. So I think that is for today's sharing on research in IS. So I give back to our moderator, Miss Zura.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suhaini atas pemaparannya. Terima kasih atas pemaparan materi yang sangat menarik, jelas dan insightful pada pagi hari ini mengenai research in information system. Melalui materi yang sudah disampaikan, kita dapat memahami beberapa penelitian di bidang sistem informasi. Ternyata sistem informasi ini tidak hanya berfokus pada teknologi semata, tetapi juga berkaitan dengan manusia, organisasi, proses bisnis, serta bagaimana teknologi dapat memberikan solusi, value, dan dampak bagi berbagai aspek dari kehidupan manusia, terutamanya di suatu organisasi tersebut. Selain itu, pada sesi hari ini juga kita memperoleh pemahaman mengenai pentingnya menentukan pendekatan penelitian yang sesuai, membangun penelitian yang sistematis, serta bagaimana mengembangkan penelitian dalam konteks sistem informasi secara lebih terarah dan ilmiah. Tadi juga dari narasumber kita, Ibu Dr. Suaini sudah membagikan pengalaman dan researchnya di bidang sistem informasi yang sangat insightful untuk kita dan bisa dijadikan ide-ide penelitian untuk penelitian tesis ke depannya. Terima kasih atas pemaparan materinya. Sebelum kita memasuki ke sesi selanjutnya, sesi tanya jawab, izinkan saya memberikan sedikit pantun untuk memberikan semangat kepada kita semua dalam diskusi UGC pada hari ini. Dari Undip hingga ke negeri Sabah, cakep. Terjalin ilmu tanpa batasan, cakep. Riset sistem informasi semakin terarah, mari berdiskusi dan berbagi pertanyaan. Baik, kita masuk ke sesi tanya jawab dan diskusi. Bagi peserta Zoom yang ingin bertanya, dipersilakan untuk menggunakan fitur raise hand atau melalui kolom chat di Zoom. Silakan teman-teman, ada yang ingin bertanya? Oh, silakan yang penanya pertama dari Mas Muhammad Dafa Mufki, bisa on cam dan langsung saja menyuarakan pertanyaannya.
Baik, izin sebelumnya terima kasih kesempatannya. Mohon maaf saya tidak bisa on cam karena ada device issue. Jadi pertanyaan saya sedikit saja. Boleh dipanggil ma'am or miss atau makci? Izin sebelumnya.
Okay, ma'am should be okay, miss also should be okay.
Oke, ma'am izin bertanya terkait dengan teknologi acceptance model. Metode teknologi acceptance model itu bentuknya kuesioner benar. Biasanya berkaitan sama kuesioner gitu ya, ma'am?
EM, ya, you're talking about the EM. Tidak semestinya dengan using this term, you can use this term based on you as a base for you if you want to do the qualitative research, which is qualitative research itu gunanya contohnya interview. Jadi bila kita interview nanti kita punya interview itu, soalan interview kita itu sudah menggambarkan faktor-faktor yang ada dalam term tadi. Boleh, boleh. Kita ambil faktor-faktor yang ada dalam term tadi.
Baik,
Itu kalau research kita itu menjurus kepada yang kita mau cari itu exploring. We want to explore apa faktor-faktor. Exploring apa faktor-faktor tadi. Jadi kita boleh gunakannya itu as a base on kita punya interview. Oke. Satu salah yang saya guna itu for one of our research kadang-kadang itu saya share satu saya dengan my friends dia itu saya itu my research on social commerce in term of the individual punya perspektif, tapi dia untuk enterprise perspektif. The first step is that guna teori yang ada, contohnya TAM, interview dulu, ambil interviewnya untuk dapatkan factor-factors. One factors-factorsnya ada itu, baru dia develop, berdasarkan TAM tadi, baru develop teorinya, dia punya conceptual theory, after that baru dia guna lagi kuantitatif yang sebenarnya. Itu juga boleh. Oke. Usually kalau kita
baik,
as conclusion, kalau kita guna yang explore punya research, boleh menggunakannya as a best, boleh.
baik, ma'am. Izin satu lagi terkait dengan teknologi acceptance model ini, apakah evaluasi yang digunakan atau diterapkan itu kepada sistem informasi atau perangkat lunak yang baru dirancang atau sistem yang sudah lama dirancang atau sudah ada, sudah lama digunakan? Lebih baik yang mana untuk digunakan term ini lebih baik digunakan ke mana, ma'am?
Oke, it's depend actually. Oke. It is depend. Oke. Saya tuh situasinya pertama itu, satu situasi itu IS ini baru diimplement. Kan baru diimplement kepada company E. Itu maksudnya itu ya.
Iya,
Ah,
benar.
kalau intinya, oke. Eh, Satu lagi kita boleh gunakan yang itu. Itu kita boleh gunakan yang itu. Kita boleh gunakan TAM. Dan satu lagi eh, mungkin eh, mungkin ini kita sudah pelajarinya, kita sudah tahu first research ini tadi yang sistem E tadi. After certain year sistem E tadi, you maunya lagi tengok apa sistemnya. Selepas 3 bulan, 5 tahun penggunaan apa sistemnya. So, should be also boleh. Kita boleh comparison. Mungkin sebab dalam 2 hingga 3 tahun itu ada perubahan, tapi sistemnya itu tidak berubah. Could be boleh satu. Dan ada satu lagi sistem itu belum lagi digunakan, but you also mau tesnya, itu pun boleh. Sebab TAM itu kalau kita tengok kadang-kadang rather than the actual use, you may what we call it perspective, your own perspective use. You gambarkan, katakan ya itu belum ada sistemnya, mungkin baru desainnya. You bagi desainnya, this is I want to develop this kind of system. Bolehkah Anda menerimanya? Juga boleh. Dan TAM itu yang bagusnya TAM ini, you boleh masukkannya itu, boleh gunakannya itu berdasarkan you punya research, situasi you research. You may use that one as a base actually. Foundation sahaja. Ya.
Baik, terima kasih, Mem.
Duh, bentar. Halo, baik teman-teman yang ingin bertanya bisa langsung raise hand. Oke. Penanya selanjutnya Mbak Vira, dipersilakan.
Ya, terima kasih untuk Mbak Zora atas waktunya. Selamat pagi, Mem Suaini. Izinkan saya bertanya. Setelah saya cukup lumayan banyak baca beberapa artikel terindeks Scopus, bahkan Q1 maupun Q2, saya itu menemukan cukup banyak penelitian yang menggunakan metode algoritma, bahkan alur penelitian yang terbilang sangat mirip gitu. Sementara di sisi lain, salah satu alasan umum kenapa sebuah artikel itu ditolak itu karena research gap yang kurang kuat gitu, atau novelty yang ya. Sebenarnya parameter utama apa sih yang dipertimbangkan oleh reviewer supaya artikel tersebut itu di-accept atau tidaknya? Cukup sepertinya itu saja pertanyaan saya. Terima kasih, Mem.
Siapa Miss Vira ya? That is very subjective. Sebab reviewer itu juga manusia biasa. Kadang-kadangnya dia itu the reviewer itu manusia biasa. Kadang-kadang dibacanya banyak, dia bacanya paper itu, kemudian dia pikirnya gini. Lebih-lebih kalau dia dalam bidang itu, and then dia tengok, ini nggak nampak, gitu, susah. Uh, saya juga kadang-kadang jadinya reviewer of the paper. But kenapa ditolak? Oke. Katanya alasan ditolak itu bermacam-macam. Katanya tadi itu tidak ada novelty. Oke. Tidak ada novelty. That is very subjective actually, novelty. It depend to how people perceive it actually ya. Kalau itu di peringkat master itu, the research is can be repeatable. Mananya digunakan algoritma yang sama, teori yang sama, tapi mesti kepada situasi yang berbeda. Situasi yang berbeda. Katakannya ini digunakan di country A dan ini digunakan di country B. But if you can explain it in very good way why actually needed in country B, I think itu akan diterima. But sometimes because penulisan itu tidak jelas, samar-samar lagi. Dan bila dibaca, reviewnya itu lagi bingung. Apa maksudnya? Jadi itu akan tentu dari reject. Oke. Itu. But that is one of the, this is ceritanya lagi. Sometimes is the rejected is not because of that. This is my friend punya experience. hantarnya kepada research yang high level research, ya. Bila buat daripada reviewer itu kata acceptance level dia tu 98 ke 97 is good, right, 97% itu bagus, tapi rejected. You know why? Sebab during the research capacity-nya itu ada limitnya. Katanya mau accept itu hanya for that section dia mau accept hanya 5 paper. Tapi yang dapat itu 10 paper. Dan 10 itu semua bagus-bagus. Of course dia akan diambil 100%. It's not that mean you punya itu tidak bagus. No. Sometimes it's because of that. Tapi kalau saya itu, is I am the reviewer, kalau the out of the topic out of the topic of that certain journal, of course will be, baru saya tolaknya. Contoh, ini kita itu maunya papernya itu mesti dalam dalam teknologi on the machine learning, application of the machine learning. Nanti itu dapat pula paper yang antar itu enggak ada juga machine learningnya. Contohnya begitu. Oh, itu akan ditolak. Dan katakan that technology of machine learning mean that this is IT technology machine learning. Tapi digunanya itu machine learning untuk IS punya research, bukan CS punya research. Itu mungkin ditolak. Don't be discouraged. Enggak apa, banyak lagi peluang. Ditolak sini, pergi tempat lain. Tapi bila pergi ke tempat lain, baiki, and then baiki juga title-nya.
Baik,
terima kasih atas jawabannya, sangat menjawab sekali. Terima kasih, Mem Suaini.
Oke, kita lanjut ke pertanyaan selanjutnya. Di sini ada yang bertanya di kolom Zoom. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, maaf mengganggu waktunya. Saya Alif Flostio Zulfikar Rosif dari Magister Sistem Informasi. Mohon bertanya melalui kolom chat. Izin bertanya, apakah batasan sebuah research disebut masuk ke bidang sistem informasi? Apakah harus membuat sistem informasi atau pengembangan model juga termasuk? Boleh dijawab Ibu untuk pertanyaan pertama dari Mas Alif.
Oke, Mas Alif, batasannya itu apakah harus membuat sistem informasi? Tidak semestinya membuat sistem informasi, tidak. Kan tadi itu saya terangkan ada dua. Satu itu membuat sistem informasi, satu lagi itu anything related to the sistem informasi. Tidak seperti dia buat. Katanya teori itu model atau teori yang kita ada, itu kita boleh perkembangkan, ya boleh. Boleh, itu kita perkembangkan. Tidak semestinya ada. Tidak semestinya kita membuat. Dengan sistem yang sedia ada itu. Contohnya paling simple, contohnya sekarang nih kita tengok pada e-commerce, social commerce itu, kalau di Malaysia itu yang paling popular adalah TikTok Marketplace. TikTok, belinya di TikTok. Kita tidak buatnya TikTok itu. Tapi mungkin kita menggunakan perkembangan model itu, kita mau melihat daripada perspektif of the consumer of TikTok. Kan, consumer of TikTok. Maybe how they perceive the TikTok, something like that. Itu boleh, nggak salah. Itu boleh ya. Itu untuk soalan nomor 1. Soalan nomor 2.
Soalan nomor 2-nya, kalau penelitian hanya fokus membuat model prediksi tanpa implementasi website atau aplikasi, apakah masih bisa dikategorikan sebagai research information system?
Yes, masih. Tapi prediksinya itu tentang apa? Konteksnya walaupun implementasi OPS itu tidak ada, tapi konteksnya masih daripada sistem, IS system. Masih konteksnya pada IS system, yes, itu boleh. Boleh. Itu juga boleh digunakan. Kadang-kadang orang itu buat, sebab as I mentioned before, sometimes kalau kita buat IS ini tidak semestinya benda itu wujud. It's just our perspective also boleh. That's why if you look at a certain model, even IS success model itu kadang-kadang dia itu katanya perkataan perceive itu ada, should be okay, ya, should be okay. Tidak semestinya implementasi yang kita tidak semestinya kita mengimplementasinya.
Baik Ibu, terima kasih banyak atas pemaparan dan diskusinya. Mungkin di sini teman-teman ada yang ingin bertanya kembali? Jika tidak ada pertanyaan, mungkin kita bisa lanjut ke sesi selanjutnya. Sebelumnya saya ucapkan terima kasih atas jawaban, penjelasan, dan diskusi yang sudah kita lakukan bersama narasumber kita pada pagi hari ini, Ibu Dr. Suaini. Kita lanjut ke sesi selanjutnya, yaitu sesi foto bersama. Dipersilakan kepada seluruh peserta untuk menyalakan kamera dan menggunakan virtual background terlebih dahulu agar dokumentasi dapat berjalan dengan lebih baik dan meriah. Dari teman-teman operator sudah siap untuk dokumentasinya? Kita mulai dari slide 1 ya. Oke, kita mulai dari slide pertama. 1, 2, 3. Oke, berikan senyuman terbaiknya untuk pagi hari ini. Lanjut ke slide kedua. 1, 2, 3. Baik, terima kasih banyak. Karena sudah berakhir sesi tanya jawab, diskusi, dan foto bersama, maka berakhir juga acara kita pada hari ini. Kami mengucapkan terima kasih kepada seluruh peserta atas partisipasi dan antusiasmenya selama sesi berlangsung. Secara khusus kami sampaikan terima kasih apresiasi yang sebesar-besarnya kepada narasumber kita pada pagi hari ini, Ibu Dr. Suaini binti Sura, atas kesediaan beliau meluangkan waktu, berbagi ilmu, pengalaman, serta wawasan yang sangat berharga pada pagi hari ini dalam kegiatan Undip Global Classroom. Materi dan diskusi yang telah disampaikan tentunya memberikan banyak pelajaran dan inspirasi khususnya bagi kami mahasiswa Magister Sistem Informasi yang dalam pengembangan penelitian di bidang sistem informasi tersendiri. Kami juga berharap kegiatan ini terus mempererat hubungan akademik dan kolaborasi yang baik antara Universitas Diponegoro dan Universiti Malaysia Sabah, sehingga kedepannya semakin banyak kesempatan dan ilmu, pengalaman, serta kerjasama internasional yang bermanfaat bagi kita semua. Sebelum acaranya benar-benar tertutup, kami mohon kesediaan untuk seluruh peserta untuk dapat mengisi form evaluasi kegiatan Undip Global Classroom pada link yang akan dikirimkan di kolom chat Zoom. Form evaluasi tersebut sangat penting bagi kami sebagai bahan masukan dan perbaikan untuk pelaksanaan kegiatan selanjutnya agar dapat menjadi lebih baik dan lebih baik lagi ke depannya. Baik, sebelum menutup kegiatan Undip Global Classroom hari ini, izinkan saya membacakan sebuah pantun. Dari Semarang menuju Malaysia, cakep. Membawa semangat dan inspirasi, cakep. Terima kasih atas diskusi yang luar biasa, semoga ilmunya bermanfaat hingga nanti. Saya Zora Zarina selaku moderator pada pagi hari ini memohon maaf apabila terdapat kesalahan dan tutur kata maupun dalam memandu jalannya acara. Akhir kata, sampai jumpa dalam Undip Global Classroom selanjutnya. Tetap semangat belajar, tetap semangat meneliti, dan semoga ilmu yang diperoleh hari ini dapat bermanfaat bagi kita semua. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Suaini.
Okay, thank you all. Bye-bye.